Welcome along to Comics and Beyond. I am your host, Cutter, joined by the one, the only, Raven Creed. And this episode, a special one, we're going to be talking all things Buffy. Raven is going to educate me on Buffy. Look, self-proclaimed, I don't know a huge amount about Buffy. I did watch Angel. Growing up, so I do have that going for me. But Raven's going to convince me and you as well to binge watch Buffy, and we're going to be touching on various things. Like, for instance, a lot of people don't know. I didn't know that the Buffy series continued in comic book form as well. So we'll be talking about that and how it kind of relates back to this show and all that good stuff. So yeah, without further ado, Raven, how are you? Great to have you on the show. Thank you very much.
I am great. I'm very excited to talk about my new personality trait that I've developed in the last couple of months, which is being a kind of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So it's nice now. I have a total of 3 personality traits. I'm a wrestler. Awesome. I lift weights, and I like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's all I fucking do.
That's all you need to just flex and watch fucking Buffy. That's it. Yeah.
That's
it. So look, let's start off at the beginning. Look, where did you join Buffy? You saying it's kind of a new personality thing? Is this something like kind of lockdown? Browsing Netflix or whatever, going into it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was over the summer. It started playing on E4 or something, some random TV channel. And it's a show that my mom and my sister watched when it first came out in 1997. And they've been telling me for years, oh yeah, you'd like it, you like these supernatural things. And I've been yeah, I'll probably watch it at some point. It seems old as fuck, and the CGI is probably terrible in it or whatever. Yeah. And it came on, and so I watched the first season really casually, every now and again if there was nothing else on TV, and I was wow, this is cool. And then there was 1 or 2 episodes in season 2 when it kind of became this is my life now. So, but and I'll tell you how much it was my life.
Okay.
So I started it in the summer. I started Buffy in the summer.
Yeah.
And then I remember I was working on Halloween till 11 o'clock at night or something like that. And I came home. I got home at 11:30, 12, and I was so pissed off and angry because I couldn't do anything for Halloween, and then I had to work, and then it was shit, and then blah, blah, and I was fuck it. You know what we're doing? We are finishing Buffy the Vampire Slayer tonight. So I finished the season 7. I finished the last episode on Halloween, and then I went straight away back and watched the first episode of season 1. Straight after, literally the same day, as soon as the episode finished, straight back into it, just because I was really sad that it was over.
But that's great, because it's great when you kind of, chance upon that thing that suddenly you're I actually fucking love this. I'm now going to do everything to do with this now. And so so that started kind of the fandom. Did you go back then and have you watched the ultra cheesy Buffy movie that kind of preceded the whole thing?
Yeah, I watched that recently. It's from 1991. I remember I went back and watched that, and I was thinking I really hope that this isn't too 90s, because sometimes sometimes you watch movies from 90s Clueless, and you're oh, this is a bit hard to watch in nowadays. And I went back and watched it. I was oh, let's hope that it's not too 90s. And then it wasn't for a bit, and then David Arquette was one of the main villains. So
it actually, do you know something? Kind of doing the look up on that, because weirdly enough, I did growing up. I did see that movie. I didn't see it in the cinema, but I saw it on the TV.
You see that movie, and then you haven't seen any of Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show.
I know. I'm a fucking anomaly.
Boy,
right? Right. But I remember watching it, and so it actually has it has an all-star cast. When I went back and looked about today, Luke Perry, Hilary Swank, Paul Rubens, Donald Sutherland, David Arquette, Rutger Hauer, there's huge names in the movie itself. Yeah. Reviews are terrible.
Because it's a terrible fucking movie.
So if you were to compare that to say the series Buffy, would you say there's any comparison apart from the general premise? like again, I know very little about it, but for instance,
Yeah,
the movie seemed to be kind of very based on the, ditzy blonde cheerleader suddenly becomes
yeah,
this vampire slayer thing. Where obviously the series kind of, while may have started that way, it definitely went, I know, on a route of
yeah,
her being more badass as kind of time went
yeah.
on
They
and all that.
they they gave Buffy a little bit more of a character in the series, as opposed to I'm a blonde cheerleader and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
kill demons. They,
yeah.
like they kind of gave her like a few more layers, which you'd fucking have to. But like
Oh
it
yeah,
was like a fucking hour and 10-minute movie versus a 7 series long fucking world. Basically,
yeah.
you'd have to fucking expand the characters. But like they added characters and they changed characters like completely. Um, the Watcher character,
Hmm.
Giles, like
Yeah.
the kind of like old man, that kind of stays very very similar in it.
Hmm.
If like for the things that would stay similar, that would be the most fucking most comparable. But like it's
Yeah.
not. It's still very different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So
like the one thing I'll say after watching the movie, I realized that the movie needed to happen in order for the series to happen because like the vampires are a little bit shit in the movie.
yes.
But like you definitely needed to, like Josh Whedon, the guy who created Buffy, probably needed to go through that movie and see, okay, this works, this doesn't work, and then probably that movie being bad definitely helped the series be better, I think.
I think so, but what's part of the appeal of Buffy, and definitely when I've kind of been reading about the Buffy verse, which I didn't know was a thing until I.
Yeah.
But it seems that like
I feel so fucking nerdy. This is great.
well, you're on the Nerds Are Us network here, so yeah, you're
Exactly, so I have the right feeling.
exactly. Um, but it seems that it was a series. It became so loved because obviously there was kind of the whole vampire things in it and the
Yeah.
whole badass side of it, but it also didn't take itself too seriously. You know,
No.
it did have the kind of jokey bit. It was kind of in on the joke
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well
yeah.
for some of
It
them.
knew that it was kind of a bit crackheaded. Like it knew it was fucking weird.
Yeah. So I think that appealed to a lot of people, not taking itself so seriously in that way. Now, like, but I was reading as well, like it's amazing to think how a series that it ran for I think 7 seasons
Yeah.
on TV, but then it continued on afterwards into the comics, which we'll get on very shortly. But that if you look at kind of future movies and stuff like that, the portrayal of vampires and stuff in Buffy, it did influence what way
Mm.
vampires were portrayed going forward. If you know what I mean, like, oh, what would you say? Not these grotesque monster things all the time or something like that. Kind of a change and all. It's kind of
Yeah,
strange in that way.
they were like sexy demons of the night kind of a thing, as
Yes, yeah,
opposed to like horrible evil. Because like it's fucking class actually. I way prefer doing it in that way because then the danger is a lot more like real. Because you're not going to
exactly.
follow this creepy, evil, scary man into a dark alley, but you might follow a
Yes,
charming, hot person into a dark alley. You know?
exactly. I mean that's the whole thing. I mean that part is based in reality. I mean there's serial killers who
Yeah,
rely on looks and stuff to lure people away. It
exactly.
is a thing.
That's the entire
Um,
thing, and it's fucking perfect because like vampires don't have souls, so they don't have empathy, so they can be more charming. And then that's the exact
yes,
same thing with fucking serial killers, with psychopaths and sociopaths. It's the exact same thing. Like whatever, if you don't want to say the word soul, they don't have empathy.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
the exact same thing.
Exactly, and I can, that's kind of where the horror comes into it. Now, the fascinating thing about it as well, uh, and it's something again I didn't know until we were talking with Matt Schuyler the other day, and he was the
Yeah.
actual one that clued me in on this, and then I went looking about it, and maybe I'm in the minority here that didn't know this, but yeah, Buffy continued. It continued on in a canon comic book series.
Mm.
Um, it was they were at least produced in conjunction with Joss Whedon,
Yeah.
and it went on. They were called like season 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that kind of thing. They were canonical, and it did continue. Have you read them? Have you seen them?
I haven't read them yet because I got my this is you were just talking about Matt Schuyler. He gave me the first comic book for Christmas. He gave me like the half of season 8 comic book, but like the poor bastard went through fucking like he went on a bidding war on eBay to get it. Like the poor bastard. He spent like way too much money for a fucking comic. He spent like €50 on a comic book. Nice. For fuck's sake. Get you a man who will fuel your obsession. But yeah, I haven't read them yet because I probably shouldn't be doing this podcast, yes, because I'm not done Angel. I just started like season 4. I've seen like a couple of like spoilers for like the end of Angel because I couldn't fucking leave well enough alone. Like probably joined like too many fan pages on Instagram. But yeah. But
Angel is another one. Sorry, Angel's another one that had spin-offs into comic books as well once it finished. That has
that one I didn't know. I actually didn't know that. I didn't know Angel had another comic.
Just check here now. Yeah.
More fucking materials get obsessed over, for fuck's sake. Like
it did. I think I had it here somewhere. I'll find it later on. I'll show you. It's called something like Angel After the Fall, I think.
Okay, that's cool.
It's kind of a follow-on from it. I don't think it's as kind of in depth as the Buffy one where there's several seasons. I think there's only like one thing of it or something like that, but it was done in very much the same way as it is.
Probably something we spend far too much money on in the future. Can't wait.
And actually, speaking of spending money in the future, what are your thoughts on the whole reboot rumors going around about Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Not only the TV show, but comics as well. There's rumors abounding that I think from 2018, I think was one of the last we heard mention of the TV show coming back, and the comic book series that recently, the license for that was recently all purchased up by a group called Boom Comics, and they were planning on relaunching as well. In fact, they may have already released one version, but they were planning on doing a relaunch of the series themselves as well.
Okay. I feel like it's a lot easier to do things justice in like comic book form because like fucking you won't get the actors wrong or you won't get fucking the setting wrong or any shit like that. Like it's a lot easier to kind of do things in comic books. Unless they casted me as Buffy, I don't necessarily want to see another thing. Granted, they could do it really fucking well. If they did another series of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, here's what I'd want to see happen. I'd want to see it. I wouldn't want to see Buffy. I'd want to see like fucking Delilah the Vampire Slayer.
Well, you're actually going to be happy then, because the rumors are that it's not Buffy, that it's going to be a brand new character. Apparently.
Okay, that would be better because fucking I don't think I fucking know for a fact nobody would be able to do Buffy as good as Sarah Michelle Gellar. She's an amazing fucking actress who fucking is very, very happy as her life now as a mother and a wife, even though I wish she was a fucking Oscar winning actress in other things. Selfishly, she's very fucking happy in her life, so that's fine, but no one could do Buffy as good as her. If they did a completely different character and a completely different story, then it could be fucking interesting, you know?
Yeah. And you know, but, like, I think it's that type of thing. When you're playing a character so role, you do become, or so long rather, you do become kind of identified with that character. Like when I think of Buffy, I think Sarah Michelle Gellar. Like, I mean, that's just it's just automatic, you know. So I do agree with your point there that I don't see. Yeah, I wouldn't see it going well if it was just Buffy, new Buffy. I don't know.
It's like why it would be so hard to recast like Wolverine, because fucking Hugh Jackman is so like 17 years, so synonymous with the part as that if I saw anybody, no matter how good of an actor they are, no matter how good of a fit that they would be, I would always see you're trying to be Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, and exactly. I mean, that's nail on the head with it. So back to the series, just kind of jumping back and forth, but for you personally, if you had to, and I don't know if it's something you ever really thought about, and you touched on that your mother and sister were saying like how you know you like supernatural stuff or you like that kind of darker stuff, that's why you would have liked Buffy. Do you think that's why you maybe latched onto it, or was there like was there something that just kind of drew you in? to Buffy that you were just like, oh hell yeah, this is my shit, you know?
The supernatural stuff definitely fucking helps. But if it was just a show about a girl killing vampires, I wouldn't have watched the entire thing probably, because there's fucking lots of those things and they become boring after a while. But like, I just, you're gonna see I'm insane. I have a list of reasons why someone should like watch the show.
Great.
One of the reasons is that like it gets like it's kind of gets real. It gets very, very real at some points, and they do it in ways of like sometimes it's supernatural, but like it can translate into like real life, and then other times it's just like, this is real. The danger is real, and it's nothing to do with supernatural things. It's nothing to do with vampires or evil. Sometimes life is shit, and here you go. And it's very fucking, I don't know. It's a good portrayal of real life and like the struggles that people go through while also having vampires and demons in it. But it's I don't know. It's very kind of like, it's very. Josh Whedon said he set out to make like a feminist kind of a show. That's not to like deter anyone who fucking is like feminism. Like that's not fucking that. It's not like girl power men suck. It's not that. It's it is very much that like everyone has their own individual strengths. I am kind of bullshit and like talking a lot here. Sorry.
No. Hey, you are the Buffy expert. You. So what I'm going to do is
one of the
go on. No, go on. Hit me.
No, a big reason why I love the show is that no character is perfect. Every single character has like more flaws than positive things, which I feel like every single person in the world has. You know,
and you know that's a sign of good writing, and that is something I do look for in a show. You know, like you don't want to go in with your two-dimensional characters. Oh, it's a pretty girl. Oh, it's a handsome man. Or like you want your characters to have depth and actually be, you know, see their flaws and see they're human. Or vampire.
And I feel like so many times with exactly, yeah. I feel like so many times with like feminist characters or like, cool women characters is that they are very much one-dimensional. I am a badass woman and I have nothing else about me. Like again, wasn't that a big complaint that people were talking about Captain Marvel? That she was
that's
like
correct.
One-dimensional.
I'm
just a very simple and a badass. That's it.
The complaint that I read, it seemed to be was that, and I can see where they're coming from to a degree, was that it was very much the badass woman character, but sacrificing a lot of that vulnerability that everybody has and flaws in favor of that. So like it's exactly like you said. Like if I see a character, I look. You know, I love the anti-heroes. I love the kind of the badass and all that stuff, but it makes them much more appealing when it's not just that. So if I have a badass woman character, it's okay that she's vulnerable occasionally. It's okay that you know that's fine. That's human, and I think that's that kind of is part of what happened. Sorry, my dogs went mental. They're very professional on this podcast.
You're fine. Just like dogs barking in the background are always valid. It's fine.
Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, I to your point, I agree completely. I think that's the so you're saying in Buffy it kind of nails that to a degree. It nails that kind of line with human and badass. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, you're drawing me in here. I do kind of want to go and watch it all. Did you find in your viewing it? Did you find like, you know, the way if I'm going back and I watch, so I'm a fecker for binge watching stuff. Did you find like a particular point where like a certain season maybe was a little bit of a slog for you, where you thought maybe they lost their way a little bit, or anything like that, or was it all just positive for you?
Season. There was nothing necessarily. There wasn't anything in the middle where like it got bad, because like again it was only like 7 seasons.
Yeah.
So I feel like it ended at like a very good point.
As opposed to like The Walking Dead, which started off fantastically and is now just yeah.
I love the fucking no. This is important actually. This actually is very good compared to Buffy. I love The Walking Dead more than fucking. It was my favorite TV show at the time.
Me too.
And this is going to be a small spoiler for Walking Dead, but it's like a good few fucking seasons ago. It's a couple of years ago, so hopefully I won't be fucking ruining it for anyone.
Feck.
I stopped watching. I stopped watching when they killed Glenn because they just did it for shock factor. It wasn't led up to. There was no reason for it.
Yeah.
They just did it because you know what they fucking won't expect.
Yeah.
That's the only reason that
it's that time of the season again. Time to kill somebody. Yeah.
Exactly. And it was like, and that's the thing with Buffy is that they don't do anything for shock factor. And I feel like that's why it there was no season that it was just like, well, this is fucking stupid, because everything was predetermined, everything was kind of led up to and like alluded to in a fucking fantastic way. Like there's an entire dream sequence at like I can't remember if it's at the start or the end of some season, but it tells you exactly what's going to happen in the next season through a dream sequence, through like metaphors and subtle things and stuff like that. And like you only notice like that it tells you the entire season when you go back and watch it. Like I went back and watched that scene like after the season. I was like, oh my fucking god, the metaphors! Like, like literally, I'm a slag for a good metaphor. Like,
now you see, like that actually, that kind of links into what I was going to say as well. Is it did become famed for like several episodes for doing unique things that people thought they couldn't do at the time. So stuff like that. But like the episode, what was it, Hush? I think, where there's not a single word spoken in the whole episode. That's one of
my favorite fucking episodes. It's brilliant.
By all accounts, again, I'm going to confess and say I haven't seen it, but by all accounts of everything I read, it's one of the most beloved episodes to be there, because it was just I suppose it was just a big fuck you to the critics, where I believe he did it as a, so I think a critic said or something, he relied on his dialogue too much or something like that. Basically, he did an episode with no dialogue whatsoever, which if anybody's ever been involved in acting or anything, listen, that would know how difficult it is to portray stuff like that using only physicality as opposed to and you actually, Raven, coming from wrestling, etc., would know that, like, sometimes portraying things via facials and physicality without any kind of vocal things is can be incredibly powerful to do. So
it's brilliant.
Using things like that. Go on. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, I was watching an interview about that episode with like all the actors, and they were saying that when Josh told them that this is what they're doing, that a few of them were like, "Oh, class! I don't have to learn off a script this week. Brilliant." And then when they were actually doing it, apparently it was like the hardest episode to film, because they had to like refilm scenes like so many times, because Joss Whedon, who is a fucking great director for Buffy, he would be like, okay, no, but I need you to do this facial expression like a few seconds earlier, or like something like small stuff like that. Like again, I'm not an actor. I've never acted on a stage like properly, besides like fucking like secondary school stuff.
you do rest, so you do use body to convey things, you know.
Exactly, but I like, as a wrestler, I would be very used to not being able to use words and just using my body in that way. But like I would say, for like being on camera with it, like on TV with like a camera following you around and following your tiny little facial details, like that must be such a hard thing to do, to convey all the emotion in the fucking world with just your face, with just your body. Like it must have been a hard episode to film, but it's one of my favorites. It's such a great idea, and I'm 22 and I live in the year of our Lord and Savior 2021. So obviously when I watch movies and TV shows, I'm the asshole who's always like looking at her phone and then asking someone like, "Oh fuck, what?"
Oh fuck, rewind that shit.
That was the one episode. Well, not the one episode. There's been a few, but that was the episode where my phone was down the entire time and I was engaged completely the entire time and watching every little detail, because it's like it was just so powerful and being able to bring you in. And it wasn't just like dramatic. There was like really funny moments. There was really compelling moments. There was really cute moments. It was like just really. It was just a normal episode of Buffy without dialogue. It was brilliant. Sorry.
So if you
if we go through each episode, I'll do this.
Oh no, this is what I want. So
I hope you're ready for a 10-hour long podcast.
So Raven, if you had to like so to myself and to the viewers out there, if you had to say, like, you know, you've already given in my opinion anyway, some very good reasons to kind of start watching it. But would there be some definitive things that you would say to somebody to say, like, look, start watching this, you're not going to regret, or you know, something that would tell people to start watching it, and then, you know, don't just leave it there, go on to the comics, finish it, you know, go to your 12 seasons or whatever via comic book as well, and continue it. Is there something that, is there reasons you would give them to start watching this, I suppose is what I'm saying?
Yeah, there'd be a fucking million. Again, I have a list. You want me to go through the list? Is that what we're doing
Yeah,
now?
why not? Why not?
Great.
Your hard work is rewarded on this podcast.
Great, fantastic. The first one I could think of that's actually not on the list, but you were just talking about it. Like you said, the comic books, you said the fucking movies. There's like, again, there's Buffy and there's Angel. There's two different TV shows that you can watch. Like apparently, like I haven't seen it yet, but as soon as I'm done Angel, I'm gonna go back and then rewatch Buffy and Angel at the same time, like when actually, they were like on.
I heard this, that they link, that they have crossovers characters and stuff like that. Yeah.
Come and go, like,
yeah.
So it's fucking cool. But like there's so many different like components in this. And like you don't have to watch everything. You don't, if you just watch Buffy, that's fine. Like that it's a fucking fantastic show. But like do you know Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
When J.R.R. Tolkien, I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings too. When he wrote that, he wrote like different languages for different tribes. He has fucking like an entire universe made of like this tribe, like their fucking origin story and how it linked with this tribe 10,000 years ago. And like, it's fucking like the man had no fucking life basically. And he just wrote a brilliant universe in this. And that's on a smaller level. I wouldn't know if it's as big as the Lord of the Rings universe, but it's like that. It's a fucking whole ass universe that you can really immerse yourself into.
That's a really, really good point, because I even just on kind of the research that I did before talking to you about this, is it's so much more in depth than I originally thought. So much more. Like there is really a lot to it. Like the characters are genuinely well thought through for the most part, from what I can see. There is, like you said, there's a huge amount of material that you can immerse yourself in, that you can see all these different mythologies and all this to do with it. And as you said there as well, you have various seasons that or series rather with Angel and Buffy that do link together. I do remember that specifically. I think my sister watched Buffy and I watched Angel, you know, because I was a young boy. I'm not watching Anne with girl. you know. But I do remember like various kind of callbacks and stuff that would obviously be linked to Buffy. He would reference that type of stuff, you know, Spike and all them would appear in both, etc. So I completely get your point. It's nice and in depth for people to kind of jump in and really, really get to grips with the whole thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's brilliant.
Any other ones for me?
Oh yes, I have plenty. The first thing I have on my official list, because I'm an fucking insane person, is
Raven Creed is not a gimmick.
It's really, it started off as a gimmick and then like it's that it's a crackhead concept. Like straight off by the name, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. What the fuck? Like that's a stupid fucking name for anything. Like that's so weird.
That's apparently why he chose the name Buffy. Actually, it was the most ridiculous name. Yeah, apparently it was the most ridiculous name he could think of, so he went with it. Like
because like it's not like you can call your kid after like I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but if I ever have a kid, it's not like I can fucking call them Buffy unless I wanted them to be bullied.
Oh,
like,
Spike! That. You got to call him Spike, definitely.
I thought about Spike. I'm definitely calling my kid Spike. Or Angel, like a fucking... Everyone's name is dumb. To be fair, this character
exactly.
Like yeah. Oh Jesus. Anyway, so but like because it's so like crackheaded of a concept that like she's a vampire slayer and she lives on the Hellmouth, which is like the door to hell, and all the demons come there, and it's a good fun time. Since it's such a fucking weird concept, it allows itself to like be so individual and have so many weird episodes that you can just like, it makes up its rules kind of along the way in some ways, that it says like, yeah, no, we can have a musical demon, you know, we
Yes.
can have an entire musical episode, which
Oh
is a
my
fucking,
God, I forgot
the
completely
musical
about that.
episode,
I forgot
the
completely about
musical
that.
episode is an entire reason on its own of why you should watch the show.
Okay.
It is the greatest episode of not just Buffy, but
Of
of
television.
TV ever fucking happened. As soon as I finished watching that episode, I went on Spotify to see if the album was on Spotify, which it was, and now 5 of the songs are on my on repeats for the last like couple of months. So
Brilliant. But you see, that's that I do
brilliant.
like that. It's kind of, it's back to the whole Hush thing as well. Like doing Hush, doing a musical episode and stuff like that. Yeah, it's like you said, you can have fun with it, and it not that the
And as well,
musical,
like you were saying, it doesn't take itself so seriously, so they can be
yes,
like, yeah, fuck it, we're just gonna have a musical episode.
it
Like,
is very, before it was even in comic book form, it does have a lot of comic book traits.
Yeah.
Like, for obviously
like
not the
quips
musical
that
thing,
fucking
but yeah,
Buffy
but
does.
and the whole, you know, some things just completely off the wall, you know,
Yeah.
happening. Like, so it does take a lot from it. So yeah, to your point, I can see why it kind of went down the route it did in the end, and end up with the whole comic book series, you know. Yeah,
It
as well.
translated very good to comic books as far as I know. I am really looking forward to, like, as soon as I'm done Angel, I'm going to read all the comic books
Yeah.
and then fucking go back. Again, I'm a fucking insane person, and apparently this is my life now. So
Hey, you have to do something in lockdown, you know.
exactly,
hell.
yeah. If you see me coming back to wrestling and like I'm starting to like just do the character of Angelus, or like I'm coming out in like Spike's trench coat and I call myself the big bad, just fucking ignore me.
Nice.
Fucking go with
Brilliant.
it. Right?
Oh no, you're gonna pop me fucking huge. I'm gonna
I have like a bunch of I feel like watching Buffy like really helped me like creatively with wrestling, because like I saw things from characters and like, oh, I could do that, or I can take elements of that. So literally my next
but you know,
character
I
is
was
just
gonna
be like,
I was actually, it was a point I was getting to, because obviously you are a successful wrestler as well, like
oh,
something
no one else thinks that.
so something like this, I suppose when you enjoy something, I know for me, like several things lend themselves into it that you love, if you know what I mean. So being that this is a new obsession for you, I mean, there's bound to be things that you do take from it, whether it's a stylistic choice or whatever going in, from it, because of course the characters in wrestling are best if they're just amplified versions of yourself. So taking something that you love, like Buffy or something like that, I could definitely see that happening with you. Is it something that you think will translate in, you know, some way, shape, or form, little tributes here and there,
Definitely.
into it?
I've kind of I've thought of like a few like storylines of like there is a part in Buffy where Angel turns I was gonna say turns heel. But essentially Angel turns heel and he becomes Angelus. He loses his soul. And just a lot of the things that Angelus does, like Angelus is the best villain in all of Buffy, in my opinion, and most fans of Buffy's opinion, because he goes from being the most likable, kind person that you can see.
And please correct me if I'm wrong, was he also like a love interest kind of character as well? Or
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Actually, this is really fucking horrible. But this is kind of the point where I was like, I love Buffy before, but this was the point where I was hooked. I was crying for about 5 episodes straight of the storyline with Buffy and Angelus, of how he became Angelus. So the crack, when you become a vampire, you lose your soul and you become an evil person that likes killing shit and stuff like that. And Angel, when he got bit by a vampire, obviously he became a normal vampire. He had no soul, and he was the best at being evil. He was Angelus. He was super fucking evil. He was weird at torturing people, but he accidentally killed and tortured the wrong person, and he got a gypsy curse on him to give him a soul, so that he would feel bad for all the horrible things he's done. But part of the gypsy curse was this is very melodramatic, but it's fucking brilliant.
No, but it's fascinating because,
Part-
again, as somebody who does it, who isn't aware of it, it's actually like, as I said, I watched Angel when I was very, very young. But you know, when you're young, I wasn't really
Yeah.
absorbing a lot of it. Like, you're saying words that are
Good.
hitting home. Like, I do remember Angelus and stuff like that. But it's actually fascinating hearing the actual timeline of it as well. So please do go ahead.
So part of the gypsy curse basically was, so that's like the best fucking form of torture, is to make someone feel bad for all the things that they've done.
Yeah.
But part of the gypsy curse was that if you ever experienced a true moment of happiness, that the curse would be lifted and he would lose his soul again.
Ah, very
And
good.
do you want to hear the horrible part that I was crying for episodes and episodes for? How did he achieve his moment of pure happiness?
Go on, hit me.
It was the first time he slept with Buffy.
Oh no. And so was it essentially instantaneously that he just became like next day Angelus kind of thing?
It was the next day. It was the next day he became Angelus, and it was a horrible fucking scene to watch, because again, it's like Buffy and Angel were like very clearly in love and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then after that night, fucking Angel wasn't there the next morning, and Buffy was looking for him and was like, what the fuck happened? Basically, like, being scared for herself. And then when she saw him the next morning, he just acted like the biggest dick in the world. It was like, well, you proved last night that you didn't know that much about a man, and like shit like that. It was like, absolutely. The things that he said to her, like, was just horrible. And I know that like it translates sort of to real life. Like, no one's lost their virginity to a vampire and then he's tried to kill her and her friends. Like, no one in real life has
Speak
done
for
that.
yourself. I have some fucking awful exes.
Sorry, I don't know your life, my guy. Like, no one's done that. But a lot of people have definitely like trusted someone that they thought was someone and then turned out to be someone else. Like, that has to happen to people.
Yes.
And even though it was like very melodramatic and vampire-y in Buffy, it still translates to real life, and it translates, I think, to everyone's kind of fear of like being vulnerable to someone and then them turning out to be someone that you don't expect.
Yeah, I mean, so, that's, to your point earlier as well, that's lending itself to it in saying that, you know, it was a series in general that, while it was based in supernatural and all this crazy stuff, there was that realism to it. Like, it was stuff that could hit home for people, where you're going, yeah, it is that, you know, you could see that somebody put your trust in and suddenly fucking, you know, 180, they're an asshole now, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Never mind the whole evil thing.
It's something that everyone, but it's something that, like, even on a smaller level, although like people in your life don't turn evil and try and torture you and your entire friend group, they do become, sometimes they just become different people. And like, it's just, I don't know, it's just very fucking, it's cool how like real life is represented through this like supernatural melodrama, you know?
Yeah. No, I definitely. I thought just to change things up a little bit, thought it might be fun to maybe give you some weird Buffy facts.
Okay, cool. I'll try and give you weird Buffy facts along the way.
Yes,
as well,
I want to see if you know these. Now, these aren't like questions or anything like that, but it's just to see if you knew this stuff. So, they're linked to not only a series but the cast as well. So, for instance, like Sarah Michelle Gellar, very nearly didn't take the role of Buffy, because she was up for the lead of Sabrina, the Teenage Witch. And
she made a good fucking call.
She decided to go with Buffy. Basically, another one then as well was, in fact, she decided to go with Buffy, but not as Buffy. She was originally Cordelia, and Charisma Carpenter was originally Buffy, and then they swapped them. And apparently, Charisma.
Sorry, I'm just trying to imagine.
Yeah.
Go on.
Apparently,
I'm just trying to imagine like fucking it's the other way around. Like like it makes sense, like having the blonde pretty girl as the mean girl, and like I don't know.
Yeah.
I know it wouldn't have worked as well. I think it still would have been good, but I don't think it would have been as good.
Yeah, but apparently,
Damn.
apparently, this is a bit bitchy as well. Whoever wrote these fucking facts, this is a bit bitchy. But anyway, right? This says Charisma Carpenter. Apparently, she didn't want to play the role of Cordelia originally because she had already played another like bitch kind of role, and she didn't want to be typecast. But her agent told her that she couldn't be typecast because nobody knew who the fuck she was. So.
Ooh, savage.
So
to be fair, Charisma, she plays a very, very good bitch, a very, very unlikable, funny person that in Angel becomes one of my favorite characters in all of Buffy.
I was gonna say, you see, I didn't know that because my experience of seeing Cordelia was in Angel, where she's not really a bitchy character at all.
She starts off as it, but then she fucking evolves as a character.
Yeah,
after a while. It's really good.
It kind of changes there, and that's kind of, I suppose, it's where it kind of changes up and links with the other one. Also, Charisma Carpenter was 27 when the show first aired, making her one of the oldest actors ever to play a teenager. Yeah, she was 27.
27. That bitch, Christ. She looks better as a fucking teenager than I ever did as a fucking Jesus.
Also up for the role of Buffy was Selma Blair and Katie Holmes.
Okay.
So Selma Blair I could see. Katie Holmes, I don't know.
Which one is Selma Blair? Sorry, I'm really bad with names.
Selma Blair. So she was in she was in like Cruel Intentions and stuff.
Okay.
Black-haired girl. Oh God, what else did she do? She's done loads of stuff, and I'm blanking. I'm gonna have to look this up, dude.
Okay. It's okay, I'm gonna Google her.
Yeah. The minute you see her face, you'll know her. Like, she's been in tons of things, and I don't know why, but I'm blanking now on it. But she's
yeah, I know her. She I feel like she's definitely in like a very popular like sitcom or something.
In fact, I think she did some sort of horror recently. I have a feeling, because I'm big into horrors, and I have a feeling I watched her in something recently, and I can't quite remember what. But however, moving on.
What was the other one?
Oh, Katie Holmes, formerly Mrs. Tom Cruise.
Ooh. Oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely can't see fucking Katie Holmes as Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
No, I think she had too much of the girl next door kind of vibe to her, if you know what I mean. I think Selma may have been a bit better, maybe.
Definitely a bit better, but
just on as horrible as it is, but on visual alone, I suppose.
Well, no, that's important when you're fucking like acting.
Yeah.
To have the fucking look of the character.
Yeah, it's true. Apparently, Ryan Reynolds turned down the role of Xander.
Jesus, really?
Yep.
Why? Is there a reason? Did he think that
it doesn't say why he turned it down. It just says he turned down the role of Xander.
Ryan Reynolds would have been very good as Xander, actually. I think that.
Yeah. I'm going to hold on now. Yes. So, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of pointless stuff here. My God. Apparently, then as well, Nicholas Brendan, who played Xander, he was told as the show went on to stop working out because he was getting too fit, and
they needed him to look like the nerdy guy.
Exactly, they needed him to be nerdy Xander. He couldn't keep working out.
There is one episode where he joins like the swim team, and he comes out in his little fucking like tiny ass speedos, and like he does look like he has a big chest, he has nice arms, and he does look like a guy who works out. And I'm kind of like, wow, what the fuck happened to that? Like,
Jesus, where have you been hiding that, man?
Exactly. That's really funny. I didn't know that one. That's really great.
Another one, James Marsters, who plays Spike, wasn't British. If you're aware of that.
Yeah, he's an American actor, yeah.
That's right, yeah. He actually auditioned with a Texan accent, but they said they wanted him to go ahead with the British accent and actually, is it Rupert Head? I can't. Who played Giles? Can't quite remember.
I don't know.
I can't quite remember. The man who played Giles anyway. He kind of acted as his vocal coach throughout to teach him how to do a proper accent.
I didn't know when I was watching. I did have to like look it up afterwards to see if Spike was actually British, because like it's like really important to his character that he's British. He's like a fucking Billy Idol wannabe. He gets called a million fucking times. Like, so
I gotta say, he actually doesn't do a bad job. I mean, he really doesn't.
Really fucking good accent. I thought he was British for ages until I actually looked him up. Yeah. Do you want to hear another fun fact about James Masters?
Please.
He was the reason for the musical episode, because this is so fucking nerdy, but I wish my friends do this. They all used to the entire cast used to go over to Joss Whedon's house and like hang out and read Shakespeare together. First of all, what a fun hangout idea. Like, imagine your friends hanging out, having a few cans, reading out the to be or not to be soliloquy from Hamlet. I'd fucking love that shit. But
right, I'm Banquo now. Fucking hell. Like,
so much fun. Someone would definitely get carried away and actually get stabbed. Like,
oh yeah, be brilliant.
That sounds like so much fun. But one day James Masters, because he's actually in a band now. James Masters, he's like
really
a fucking musician.
I was not aware of that.
He brought a guitar over to Joss Whedon's house, and just like one of those nights, just fucking hanging out, and they all started singing, and Joss Whedon was looking around going like, there's actually a few people here can like sing really, really good. We might be able to fucking do something with this. And then the fucking music episode was born.
Wow, it's kind of, it never ceases to amaze me, kind of stuff with that. I and it's not just related to I suppose shows and series and comics and all that, just where you can get inspiration from the silliest little thing can just lead to something
you get
huge.
Inspiration when you're not looking for inspiration, is what I always find anyway.
Did you know, Raven, this is another one for you to purchase. I'm digging into that wallet. Did you know that there's
I'm gonna start a GoFundMe for my Buffy fucking addiction.
Did you know there is a book out explaining the slang that is used in the show? The book is called Slayer Slang, a Buffy the Vampire Slayer lexicon. And it explains all the Buffy speak. That they use.
I don't know if you're referring to the horrible 90s speak or the like demon speak, because they're both alien as fuck to me.
90s speak is just Jesus. The worst part is, I could translate the 90s speak for you. I've 90s speak is just God. Oh, I'm actually cringing thinking about it. Like, oh my God, man, that's fucking tubular. Like,
tubular. I'm gonna start bringing back some like slangs from like, I'm gonna start calling things like groovy or something. I know that's the 70s. I'm not that fucking, but like I'm gonna start like just bringing back shit from the 90s, just freaking people out. Except for like the one or two like weird things that I will say about Buffy is that they very casually use some words that you like can't say now.
Well, you see, that's the thing I have seen with kind of older shows, I think, and I'm kind of happy that they're not changed. You know, they're a product of their time.
Yeah, no, totally.
You know, and I think everybody's smart enough to know now what isn't acceptable to a degree with it. But I wouldn't change it because it's just, but it doesn't. I get your point. It doesn't stop me from looking at it and hearing it and going, "Ooh, no."
Like it just like bring me out of the moment every now and again. Like I watch it sometimes with my mum, and she likes looking over at me to like see my reactions to the big points, and like every now and again they'll like say a word, like they say like the R word sometimes. Like very rarely, but, like they do say it like because it's a casual word that you did say in the 90s.
Oh, it was far more acceptable than that's just how it was.
Exactly, it's how it was, and people don't say it now. But to pretend that people never said it is pretending that it was never a problem. So you can't fucking do that either.
Oh, exactly.
But they'll say words like that, and then like my mom will just like look at me, and I'll just go, "Fuck," like every now and again, because it's like it brings you back. And like, besides like those like very very small moments, it's in stuff like Friends as well. Like if you watch like any old shows or any old movies,
and actually I think
stuff that
you're correct as well. It's kind of, it makes you remember times when like you were more insensitive too. I know at least it does with me, you
Definitely,
know, where you look back and go,
definitely.
oh God,
Saying the
I
word
can't
gay
believe I
was
used to
bad,
say
shit like
stuff,
that.
you know, can't believe I
Yeah,
called this person that or whatever. You know, you never meant it maliciously, but
of
you
course.
know,
You were uneducated on it. The internet's a great thing to get fucking educated on what's right or wrong things.
exactly,
Like, so,
exactly.
like,
I would never hold it against anybody. Anybody who's willing to learn is you're fine with me,
yeah.
dude. You know?
It's like why I get angry sometimes that like comedians get like from like the 90s or 80s get like, oh, you did this one set fucking 20 years ago where you said the word gay in a derogatory way. It's like, well, they didn't fucking know that it was derogatory because everyone else was fucking saying it.
Exactly.
So it's not like, yeah, they shouldn't have said it, but they didn't fucking know that they shouldn't have said it.
Exactly.
So like,
I think it's simple to say. Yeah, I said it then. It was normal then. It's not normal now. I wouldn't say it now. That's it. You know. Um. So another couple of things here for you, just to keep it going. Um. So Joss Whedon knew. Which actually, do you know what? At the time, I personally would consider this pretty progressive. At the time, as for the time that it was, Joss Whedon, he knew that he wanted either Willow or Xander to come out as gay.
yeah,
And he eventually chose Willow, which I remember at the time was a pretty big deal.
it was.
A character coming out as gay, and as I say, like for the time that it was in, that strikes me as quite progressive and fair play for that for putting in that
And
character
they
into it.
handled it. They did handle it in a very like. They didn't handle it insensitively, and you know there wasn't like many insulting jokes. Like obviously there was a few like quips, but nothing like insulting. Like most of the quips were made by herself making jokes,
Yes.
and it was handled in a very like mature and responsible way. And like they treated her relationship with Tara, her like first girlfriend, they treated
Mm.
that relationship like a normal relationship, like a fucking heterosexual relationship, because it was a normal relationship. It was
Yeah.
normal,
And you know,
and
we touched on this on our
it was
last
very
episode
cool.
actually with Matt, and that is something that's lacking in portrayal even up until today, where it's not a token thing. It's just normal.
Yeah,
It's just a thing, you
yeah.
know.
Yeah,
um
exactly. And I feel like the only way that we'll be able to, I'm gonna go like absolutely ranty here, but the
no, go
only way
on.
we're gonna be able to like progress as like a society as a whole is that we don't have the token gay character, we don't have the token black character, we just have a character who is these things, but it's not
Yes.
their entire personality, right? They
Yeah.
just like this character happens to be black, but they're also a cool person, they're also a nice person, they're also a smart person, they're also an evil person, they're also whatever. And like, yeah, you can reference the fact that this person is this, but it doesn't need to be their entire fucking character arc. And just because fucking Willow came out as gay in the series, it didn't change anything about her as a person. It led to like different stories, but it didn't change her core personality traits or anything.
Which is how I think it should be done. Again, you know, we touched on this with Matt Schuyler last episode, but um, you know, it's your sexuality does not define you. So why, you know, that's not how it should be portrayed in
Like,
a movie or a TV show. It's just that person happens to be that way. Great. Continue the story. You know, like it can introduce new facets to the story, but it shouldn't take it over, you know? Um
exactly.
so
There was
continue.
actually
Oh,
Willow and Tara's relationship was probably the healthiest relationship in the entire like. So that was nice.
as well, this is do you fancy going to college to study Buffy? Because
Yes.
there have been academic courses on the series, as well as books and conferences dedicated to the themes of the show. There are specific professors, etc., who have taken stuff from Buffy, the cultural aspects of the show, and kind of the knock-on effects it had. Remember when I said earlier on about how it knocked on how vampires were portrayed in various media
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
afterwards. So it's actually looking at the pop culture um, affected by it, how it happened, how the knock-on effect happened from that kind of aspect. So yeah, you can go and study aspects of Buffy.
That's so fucking. Oh, I'm gonna definitely need to find some crack-headed professor who's willing to let me live with him and just like touch Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Get your degree in Buffyology. You know,
honestly, I finished college last year and I'm ready to fucking start again. Let's go. I'm ready to hurt
again. So apparently, there was a reason for the vampires' scary faces. So Whedon had said that I didn't think I really want. Do you know this one?
I think I do. I'm not sure. Say it anyway.
It's where he said, I didn't think I really wanted to put a show on the air about a high school girl who was stabbing normal-looking people in the heart.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why he made them. That's why he made them like go into dust as well, because it would have just been a lot of like human bodies lying around. So it was
exactly
a lot more palatable to see an evil monster turn to dust, kind of.
Yeah.
Because again, that was a new feature from the movie as well. Because in the movie they didn't have the face; they were just like they had pointy ears and teeth like all the time. That was just
that's right. Actually,
and then when you killed them, they didn't turn to dust; they were just a body left there. So again, that was probably important for him to see. It was like, this is fucking weird seeing a 16-year-old just stab people.
A little interesting fact actually about the movie and the series: there's one actor who was in both, and it was Seth Green.
Green in that?
He played a vampire in the original Buffy movie. Yes.
Which vampire did he play? Did he play the basketball one?
That I'm not sure of.
I'm gonna have to look back. I didn't know that Seth Green was in that one. I probably just didn't recognize him because of the fucking like the makeup and stuff. Damn. That's a good one. I like that.
There you go.
That's very enjoyable. What that is.
And apparently, which this is kind of shitty, the rest of the cast only found out that Buffy the Vampire Slayer was ending when Sarah Michelle Gellar announced it in the media. So that's kind of shitty. Yeah, that's kind of shitty. Going, oh fuck, I'm out of a job. Feck. You know what I mean?
Apparently, that was kind of like, do you know Tara, Willow's girlfriend? This is just another fun fact if you want.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Tara died at one point, and it was a really emotional fucking big point. But it was decided at the end of the season previously that she was going to die. So Joss Whedon took the actress who played Tara into his office and was like, "Oh, I have some really like cool, interesting information about like your character in the next season and like what she's going to be doing." And he was like, "Oh yeah, your character's going to die." And she was like, "That's not good. I'm out of a fucking job."
Jesus.
So, like,
oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, it's really exciting though. No, it's not at all.
No, I'm not working anymore.
This is awful.
Looking up.
So yeah, look, with that, I think we'll with the weird facts out of the way, we might move on to a bit of a quiz. And
perfect.
And see just how well Raven Creed knows her Buffyverse. And
I'm nervous as fuck.
So Matt Schuyler on our last episode nailed the MCU quiz. So so we're aiming now. He did get 2 wrong. So we're aiming.
Okay.
We want you to beat Matt Schuyler. Bragging rights here, right?
Without a doubt. As soon as I finish this, I'm just gonna text him going, "Fuck you! You know nothing, bitch." Now
some of these are a little bit easy. Some of these are quite tough, right? So we're going to see where we go. Right, you ready?
What would you do? Right. What would you do if I like answered every single question without hesitation and I knew every single one? Would you be like intimidated?
I mean,
or would you just think like, "Damn, this bitch has no life"?
I'd have to take a minute just to absorb the sheer presence of the Buffy knowledge. You know,
my big smooth brain.
Yeah. What I do is I wait to off the air and go, "Raven, are you okay though?" Because it seems like
like I'm feeling all like the emotional pain that I'm feeling with just vampires.
Yeah. Vampire shaped hole in the heart filled. Right.
Literally.
Okay, so we're going to start off with one that Foxy couldn't answer last day when we when he
Is
touched it.
Foxy a big Buffy fan? Because I'm just gonna message him after this and be like, "So what's your favorite episode?" or something.
I don't think he is. I think he remembered the movie, all right, but he wasn't. Now I could be wrong because I wanted to save a lot of it for you because I didn't want to.
Okay.
You know how sometimes when you get chatting, you kind of waste all your good conversation. I didn't really want to do that, so I didn't go into it. But sure, I'm always up for texting Foxy some sort of abuse anyway. So. Love you, Foxy. So, starting off, we're number one. Who played Buffy in the original movie?
Oh, fuck. I don't know her name. I'm bad at names. Damn it, I've already lost.
Okay. I'll tell you what. To be fair, I'll give you a multiple choice.
Okay, go ahead.
So, was it Alyssa Milano, Demi Moore, or Kirsty Swanson?
Fuck, I'm so bad at names.
The
only name I recognize. Do it. Yeah.
Okay, so naming them again. The first Buffy in the movie, was it A, Alyssa Milano, B, Demi Moore, or C, Kirsty Swanson?
Okay. The only name I recognize is Demi Moore, so I'm going to say it's not Demi Moore, and it's the third one, Kirsty Swanson. Is that right?
Correct. Kirsty
Swanson. Get in there, lads. Get in there.
She was the very first Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Not entirely sure whether she actually went on to. I didn't. What would you say? I didn't have a huge in-depth look at the career of Kirsty Swanson after this to see if she actually
I don't
went.
know if she's done much.
I don't think because she. I don't know. And now my phone has decided to just go mental. So 1 second, please.
Okay.
I don't know what the hell is going on here. Anyway, okay, it's back. Right. So, So, which character was recast from the show's original pilot episode? Was it?
Oh, I do know this.
I can get. I tell you what, I'm going to let you go first, and then if you having trouble, we'll go multiple choice after that. So, if you know it straight off the bat, go for it. If not, I'll go multiple choice.
I think it was Willow.
You are correct. Willow was originally played by Riff Regan.
I have no idea who that is.
No, but she was then replaced by Alison Hannigan then. Which Great Hollywood choice. Now some of these we've actually talked about already on this podcast. Okay. So which Hollywood A-lister turned down the role of Xander?
Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
I'm gonna pretend that I knew that one beforehand.
Which part did Charisma Carpenter originally audition for?
The Big Dirty Buffy.
That's right.
I definitely shouldn't have said that. Big Dirty Buffy sounds really nice.
That's the reboot name that they're going with.
That's the porno name, to be honest.
Yeah, they're non-canonical. So
yeah.
The dialogue of the show became a big signature for it. So what was the term coined for that dialogue by the academics that we talked about a few minutes ago? Was it A, Slayer talk, B, Buffy babble, or C, Buffy speak? It's a tough one.
It's for the entire show in general. So, like, I don't know. I don't think it's Buffy babble because that sounds like too fake. So it's either Buffy talk or what was it? Buffy talk or Slayer talk?
Buffy speak or Slayer talk?
Buffy speak or Slayer talk? I'm gonna go with Slayer talk.
Incorrect. It was Buffy speak.
Stay there. I deserve it. I fucking deserve it. I'm not going to eat for the next 4 days to punish myself. Jesus Christ.
It was Buffy speak, and actually just to on the topic of kind of the academics I said, on those academic courses, some of the things that they do, because I was going off the top of my head before, but it says it here, they actually review Buffy for its plot structure, deconstruction of horror tropes, and its representation of female characters as well. So there you go.
I'm honestly gonna look all this up. Like I'm gonna buy like academic books. This is great.
Which episode is famously almost dialogue free?
Hush.
Correct.
That one. One of my favorite episodes.
Where had Buffy been before her return in season 6?
Oh, she was in heaven.
Correct. Jesus Christ. Right, now here's one. Again, I see some of these and I think they sound really tough. No, maybe they're obvious, but I think they sound really tough.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I am an insane person, so it's okay.
So here's one. What alias did Buffy use while hiding in LA at the start of season 3? Oh. Again, I can go multiple choice if you need me to.
Give me a multiple choice because I think I know it. I think she used like her middle name or something. But go on, give me multiple choice.
Is it A, Anne? B, Louise? It's Anne. Correct. Jesus Christ, yeah. Raven.
That's Buffy Summers' middle name. It's Buffy Ann Summers.
Very good.
Yeah, I am insane.
Question 9. Which pop superstar nearly guest starred in a season 5 episode? Now, again, I can give you multiple choice if you want.
Do it, because nearly guest starred. I'm fucking. Oh, that's gonna be hard. Go on. Pop
was it
superstar.
Janet Jackson?
Okay.
Christina Aguilera or Britney Spears?
What was it? Season 5?
Season 5. Now, yeah, again, didn't actually guest star.
Yeah.
They were
I'm just trying to think who's like super relevant. It'd be like 2001 or something.
I can tell you that they were in talks and they were basically just about to seal the deal and it just kind of fell through.
Okay, so who is it? Janet Jackson, Christina Aguilera, or Britney Spears, wasn't it?
Yes, all very relevant to the 90s, of course.
I think Christina Aguilera would be really good in Buffy, so I'm going to say Christina Aguilera.
Britney! It's Britney, bitch!
Okay. Fucking Britney Spears ruining my life forever. I'm just kidding, I love Britney Spears. Britney Spears is class. I'm going to shave my head just in honor for her.
It was an episode. Yeah, as I get older, I understand more and more why she shaved her head.
Oh no, I completely get it. I'm not making fun of her. I'm just like, I'm very much relating to her.
Yeah, definitely.
Fair play to her as well. Like, she went through that entire mental breakdown and she looks fucking amazing now. So like, just shows that life can get better.
Gives all of us hope.
Exactly, yeah.
Apparently, she was ready to portray. Now, this hopefully will bear some semblance of relativity to you. Britney nearly portrayed robot April in I Was Made to Love You.
No, she would have been good.
So,
damn.
Yep, that was apparently, again, it was about to happen and then scheduling conflicts and stuff just made it not happen.
I'm just imagining myself like on my couch, just like casually watching Buffy, and then that episode comes on. I'm like, what the fuck? Where's Britney Spears here?
But then you start, you realize you're watching Buffy, and you go, this actually makes sense.
Where's Britney Spears in Buffy?
Of course she's in it. Why? So number 10, where was Angel born? What country?
He was born in Ireland, Galway specifically.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I didn't even know where the county was. Number 11. How did Oz become a werewolf?
Okay. I think...
Again, I can give you multiple choice if you need it.
Yeah, do it. I'm going to be safe now because I've already fucked up on 2 questions. So I'm not getting worse than Aaron. Like, fuck that.
Okay. Was he A, bitten by his cousin?
Okay.
B, bitten by his girlfriend, or his ex-girlfriend, rather, sorry. Or C, cursed by a witch?
I think, for some reason, I'm thinking of his cousin. I know it had something to do with that, so I'm going to say he was bitten by his cousin.
Correct. He was indeed bitten by his cousin. What? Out of context, that is just weird. But anyway, let's continue.
Saying he was bitten by his cousin and then me just like sticking out my tongue. Yeah.
It's clip that. Somebody edit that. Right.
I'd love for someone to like go back and like clip every single time that I stick my tongue out like during it, because then they realize, oh fuck, it's just not a gimmick, is it? That's all she does.
Hey, fucking hell, live in the gimmick, baby. That's what has to be done.
Literally.
Kayfabe. Right. What was the name of the university Buffy attends?
Fuck.
Would you like multiple choice?
I'll talk to myself first. I know she went to Sunnydale High. Fuck it. Give us some multiple choice. Go on.
Okay, was it A, Sunnydale Community College, B,
Correct.
UC Sunnydale, or C, Slayer School?
Okay, thanks for that last one. Sunnydale Community College or UC Sunnydale?
Yes.
Oh fuck. I'm gonna go with UC Sunnydale. I feel like it's that.
Raven, I'm in shock right now. Yes, correct.
Oh, no.
Fucking hell.
Yes! You're making me worried.
UC Sunnydale is where most of the action of season 4 takes place. What was Giles's nickname as a youth?
Oh, fuck. Does this one have multiple choice too?
Yeah. They all have multiple choice if you need them. Yep. So, was it A, G-Dog, B, the Big R?
The Big R.
Yeah. Or C, Ripper?
I feel like it was Ripper. I feel like I recognized that for some reason.
Correct.
Yes.
And actually, do you know why? Because Joss Whedon apparently had plans originally for a spin-off called Ripper, set in London, featuring Giles.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like past Giles. His past life.
Yeah, but basically,
so fucking cool. Because like a big part of like the show is like at the start you think that Giles is just like this nerdy bookworm librarian guy. And then after a while you realize, oh fuck, this dude like knows. Like this dude is like a guy, you know, and like
and apparently that's what they were doing is they were going to go kind of in younger Giles series. For some reason it fell through, it never came about, but that was what was happening.
They should do that now instead of the Buffy fucking show. They should just bring back that. Like I would be very, very happy to watch that.
That'd be pretty cool, actually. You see, even I don't know how I feel about a new Buffy one. And as I said, I wasn't a huge Buffy fan. After talking with you, Raven Creed, I am probably going to go and watch the whole fucking thing. But
text me as soon as
I'm just going to message you going, I fucking hate you. I haven't slept in 3 days. But even I like reading about the kind of the reboot and stuff. Honestly, the last I heard about it was 2018. That's the last reports I could find about the reboot, and it kind of sounds like they are or were planning to essentially just do Buffy again with new people. Like
that's a fucking terrible idea.
That's what I mean.
Why not continue on the universe?
Exactly. Why not make it a continuation where it's like, I don't know, Buffy's like a mentor or something, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. Probably you couldn't get Sarah Michelle Gellar again, probably, but you know.
Yeah. But like she could do a thing of like she comes in like she'd be like one of those characters that would come in like 3 or 4 times during an entire season.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good point. Yeah.
Like,
okay,
I feel
next
like
one.
just trying to retell the stories. Mank, fuck that. Go on.
That's the thing. Like, any show that has done that where it's kind of been a carbon copy of something else. I mean, have you ever seen the American version or the British version of that 70s show?
I did. I hate it. I love that 70s show. It's my favorite fucking TV show. It's the worst.
Thank you. Finally, somebody who saw that fucking hellscape of a show.
I watched the full first episode, and it's literally the exact
word
same
for
thing.
word. Where they just like
besides like I think character names and stuff like that, or like 1 or 2 references are British as opposed to American.
Exactly, changing place names to British places instead. Like that's it. That is it. Exactly. Oh my god,
really,
what an
really
awful
bad.
show!
It's really fucking like. But again, that's like that was good. Like they could have done something interesting there where they made it that 70s show in England.
Yeah.
Like, because again, it's like a completely different fucking culture. They could have done something really fucking interesting there, but they just decided, nah, fuck it.
We already have a script. We'll just use that one here. There you go. Yeah. Continuing with the quiz, in which episode did Joyce Summers die? The name of the episode.
Fuck that episode. Are you That was actually, I've watched the entire Buffy the Vampire Slayer besides that episode because I started watching it and couldn't
Was it
watch
too
it.
much?
I literally,
It was too much.
it was too much. I turned it on, and do you know why it was too much? It was because Sarah Michelle Gellar's acting is so fucking good that I actually couldn't watch it. Because the first time, it's really fucking sad. She walks in, and she's like talking normally, as if like, oh hey, I was just getting this at the shop, and something happened or whatever, like just as if you fucking would. And she saw her mom on the couch, and she walked over. Was like, what you doing? And she goes, mom.
Oh no!
And then the last one, the thing that got me, the last thing that she said was mommy, like in a really like innocent way, like
no, fuck that.
which is just showing that how fucking vulnerable she is.
Yeah.
And it's just so like, as soon as that happened, I literally was like, nope, fucking out of this, watching this today, not today.
I can't blame you for that one.
I just couldn't watch it.
I'll give you a multiple choice on this one if you want. So, it's either A, the body, B, I was made to love you, or C, the gift.
It's not the gift. I know that one. I don't think it's the body. I think it's I was made to love you.
You are correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Happens in the closing moments of the episode. The body follows directly from that continuation. So the body is the next episode, and it takes exactly from there going into the next one. On it. Glory is the big bad of season 5. What's her full name?
You fucking bitch.
No, that is not right.
What's her actual name? So it's Glory. Are you gonna give me one?
Yeah, if you want. So
I feel like too ashamed for asking for multiple choice. I really feel like I failed like immediately.
No, it is part of it. So A is Glory.
Okay.
B is her eternal glorious majesty. Or C
might be that one.
Or C, Glorificus.
Ooh, shit. Oh god, I know that's what like her servant's color, like the eternal glory. Whatever. I think it's Glorificus for some reason. Because
my God, you're right. Jesus Christ! I am. I did.
That was a hard one.
How would you know that? My God.
That was hard. That was fucking hard.
So Glory, for those who don't know, is an all-powerful demon from another dimension, as most of them are, trapped on Earth, looking for the key to return home, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like the main antagonist in that particular season.
She's good.
And now here's one again. This is another one of those nearly questions, so it is tough. This is almost a guess one, so I suppose there's no shame in getting this one because it's almost a guess.
There's always shame in getting this wrong, right? Don't fucking tell
me. Who nearly played Dracula? Was it A, Freddie Prinze Jr. or Mr. Michelle Gellar?
Oh my God, that would have been class.
B, Tom Cruise. Or
oh my God, that would have been weird.
C, Christian Bale.
Oh my God, that would have been a lot. Fucking hell, I love all of those options. I love every single one. Can you imagine Tom Cruise as fucking Dracula? That would be brilliant.
Yep.
Tom. Okay, I don't. For some reason, Christian Bale is just not working in my head. So in my head, it's either Freddie Prinze Jr., which I want it to be, but I'm gonna say it was Tom Cruise because fucking hell, how good would Tom Cruise be as Dracula and Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Should have gone with the heart. It was Freddie.
Oh, that would have been class. That would. Oh, damn it! That one makes the most sense, but it's just I want to see Tom Cruise playing Dracula.
Side fact as well, I'm sure you're aware, but you know Freddie Prinze Jr. spent a little bit of time on the creative side of WWE as well. Yeah, yeah. He worked with the creative team there for a while.
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't fucking know that.
Yeah. Freddie Prinze, lifelong wrestling fan.
I didn't know that. I love watching. Have you ever seen the live action Scooby-Doo?
I have with Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie
With Sarah
Prinze Jr.
Michelle Gellar.
It's
I love
fucking
watching it
amazing.
because Freddie Prinze Jr. plays Fred and she plays Daphne, and it's
Yep.
just like it's really fucking good. And when I first started watching Buffy, I was like, this is weird. Daphne is Buffy. And now, fucking, when I watch the live action Scooby-Doo versions, because I love Scooby-Doo, I'm like,
Weirdly,
oh fuck, this is weird. Why is
weirdly
Buffy
enough,
playing
on a
Daphne?
tangent, actually, there are several, and you can confirm better than I can, but there are several Scooby-Doo references in Buffy the Vampire
Yeah.
Slayer.
They call themselves the Scooby Gang, yeah.
Yeah, they're called Scooby Gang. There's I seen it earlier on. There's like episode where Sarah Michelle is wearing a very Daphne-esque kind of ribbon thing, and it's so there's a few kind of little references in there to it as well. So
One thing that I love though about like the live action Scooby-Doo and her in it is that she just plays Daphne as Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's just Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And it's, you know what, I'm gonna go back and watch all the Scooby-Doo movies now.
Hell yeah. That's a few hours well spent, honestly. That is,
I was gonna work out today, but I watched Scooby-Doo instead.
Oh, don't even talk to me about working it. No, I'm not fucking. I have issues with Duncan right now. I'm not going to get into it, but anyway, right? Oh my God, my phone! Stop doing this to me. It's like it's timing me out. I hate technology. He says while recording a live podcast. Anyway,
see, this is like I want to fucking. I had a podcast a while ago and I wanted to restart it, but I have no fucking idea how to do anything that you're doing right now. So that's the thing that's like completely deterring me.
I'll come on with you. We'll do it together.
Do it, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man, I wanted to do a wrestling podcast for so long, but then it was like everybody's doing a wrestling podcast and I'm nobody, so what the hell, you know?
Who cares? Who cares if you're fucking nobody? You have things to say. Fuck it.
True. That is true. Okay, next question. Fixed. Faith is introduced in season 3. Whose death made her Slayer?
Whose death? Oh, it's fucking your one. The what's her fucking name? Are you gonna give me? Sorry, I know exactly who it is, and I know the exact character. I just can't remember.
I'll give you multi. Yeah. A. Buffy, B. Kendra, or C.
Kendra.
The Master. Kendra. Correct.
Yeah.
Kendra was killed. Bonus points if you tell me who she was killed by.
Dracula.
Oh yes, Jesus. There we go. Right. Complete the famous line. If the apocalypse comes.
I feel like we'll be ready. Something like that.
Do you want multi?
Go on, give me multi. I do.
Okay. A, beat me. B, chill out. Like beat me like a beeper.
Oh yeah, it's beat me. It is that, isn't it?
You're correct.
Yeah,
correct.
I am. Sorry. There were so many apocalypses.
Yeah. Fair. What words were written on Buffy's gravestone?
Don't even fucking give me the thing. I'll be able to tell you.
Now you've said it now. You've said it now.
I hope so. Beloved sister, beloved friend, she saved the world a lot.
Correct. I actually would have accepted just she saved the world a lot, but I mean there has to be bonus points in there for giving the whole fucking thing. You know? Yeah.
Yeah. Last trivia right.
I got trivia in my triceps. Ooh. Finally, what is Buffy's final word in the whole show? Her final word. That one is a tough one. And I can give multi again if you need it.
Okay. I think I know, but I also don't. So go ahead.
A is home. B, mom. C, Spike.
It's Spike. I know it's Spike. I know for a fucking fact.
Correct.
Yeah.
That is the end of The Chosen, and that is she basically gives up the power of the Slayer after the battle to end all battles against the first evil.
Yeah.
Am I
She
right?
doesn't,
I think I
doesn't-
have that right.
Close. You're close. She doesn't give up the power of the Slayer. What happens instead is that so like there's a lot of like potentials, it's called, which is people who, like, if Buffy dies, basically they're a potential Slayer. So then there's only one girl that's supposed to have the power of the Slayer.
Actually,
So
sorry to
instead,
interrupt, Raven. Just on
Alright.
that note, can you just inform me and the listeners about like the whole thing with the Slayer? Because there's a whole thing about that. It's like is it a hereditary thing, or a
no,
chosen one?
it's just a chosen one thing. So like in all the world, there is one girl destined to fight the powers of evil. There's like an entire fucking spiel. I could probably say it all embarrassingly enough. But so then when one Slayer dies, that power passes on to another potential. So just because
Okay.
you're a potential doesn't mean that you'll get the power of a Slayer, but it's a fucking possibility.
Right.
And the last season is really fucking interesting because the first evil has minions going around the entire world killing all the girls that were potential Slayers, so that then when she kills Buffy, when
then do we
the
know
second
where
kills
for the
Buffy,
power
they're
to
dealing with
go?
potentials.
Okay.
So what happens in the last like couple of moments, basically, there's a spell done, there's some very powerful magic done by Willow, to get the potentials to all have the power of the Slayer. So
Right.
it's a really fucking nice scene that where it kind of goes around the world and like shows women getting fucking superpowers basically. And there's actually a very, very good scene of like a woman who obviously was in an abusive relationship, that as soon as she got the power, she like blocked like the man who was hitting her and like stood up to him.
Cool.
So it was a very, very cool scene. So instead of giving up the powers of the Slayer, she just allowed every potential to have the powers of the Slayer as well.
Right.
So,
Okay.
so
And can you actually answer me as well? Because on the few times naturally that I did, you're browsing the channels, and when I was growing up and stuff, and you came across Buffy and whatnot, I did like see bits and pieces of Buffy and stuff. But I distinctly remember Spike. And
yes.
I can't remember if he was a good guy or a bad guy. I know he started out bad, but didn't he become almost like another love interest kind of thing? I don't.
Oh, Spiky baby, that bastard. He's probably one of my favorite characters, if not my favorite. But his character arc is fucking class because he starts off as evil. He is just the bad guy. He's evil. And then you get to see more of his character. And then something happens to him where he can't actually hurt humans anymore. So he becomes one of the good guys, basically, so he can hurt people. Yeah, he gets a chip in his head that like he can't hurt humans. But it's really fucking annoying him as a character because the actor Jay Masters even said that like you can know that like Spike is fun to watch, but he's not a good guy.
Yes. The only reason he's not killing the humans, etc., is because he can't.
Yeah. Exactly. But then like there's really fucking interesting things where like I love him, he's the coolest guy in the world, and then he does something to make me fucking hate him. And then I hate him. And then like I think he can never be redeemed, and then he does something else. And like there is a scene in the second last season where I'm like, because my mom and my sister also love Spike, and they're always talking about how great he is. And like in one of the scenes where I'm not gonna say what it was, but it was just a really fucking horrendous scene. And I watched it and I was like, there's no fucking way he can come back. This is like the worst thing he's ever done. There's no way. And then
he's a bad guy now, and that's it. He's gone.
Yeah, he's a bad guy. There's no redeeming. Even if the show does portray him as a good guy in the future, he's not redeemable in my eyes. And then the bastard does something to make him redeemable. And I like him again.
You see, that's the kind of, I know we've touched on it a lot, but that's the whole kind of depth of the character with the anti-hero kind of thing. He's a reluctant hero. He doesn't want to be a good guy. He kind of has to be at certain points because of what he has done. If he's going to satiate, I suppose, his killing urges, etc., he can't do it to humans, so he's going to do it to demons or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. It's actually a very good way of making him kind of part of the gang.
Yes.
Without changing his character. Like he's still evil. He's still completely evil until near the end. He is like an evil person, but I don't know.
And just
Right.
kind of wrapping
Okay.
up on this, Raven, just to kind of touch on the comics. I know you're kind of you're only starting to go into the comics, and it is something you're going to be finishing off. I'm presuming that your aim is to kind of finish off the get up to the 12 season
Yeah.
12, I think it is, and that's it.
Give me like 2 weeks and I'll have it done. You know.
But like for you, you touched on it earlier and said like you thought that the series ended pretty much kind of where it needed to end, kind of before it got to would you have preferred maybe the comic book version to go onto the small screen and kind of finish off the series that way, or are you perfectly happy with it, finishing off in the way that it is?
I'm happy that the TV show finished the way it was, because it never ever felt like it got stale. It never felt like it got repetitive. Like the bad guys continuously built up. Like it started from like the threat always felt real. And I feel like if you tried to continue the TV series after fighting the first evil that ever existed, then you wouldn't, like, the threat wouldn't feel real, because he's already like been through the apocalypse or whatever. So there was no point in having another series. No, granted, I haven't read the comic books yet, but they definitely will probably make the danger feel real and all that stuff. So maybe fucking, I'm glad the TV show ended, and I'm glad it continued a different format.
It's kind of where do you go? You've literally had an apocalypse. Yeah.
You've had, like, again, like the crack with the fucking villain. So it was the oldest vampire that ever existed in the Master. There was Angelus, so it was another really evil vampire, but it was also emotional because it was Angel. So like that was the other big bad. And then there was a really powerful demon. Then there was a government-made monster, basically, that was like a combination of all demons. Then there was a god. So like, where'd you go from a god?
Yeah.
That's what Glory was. Glory was a god, basically.
Okay.
So where'd you go from a god?
Exactly.
Like, yeah, but like, so after that, they went completely the opposite way, and they just had 3 nerds. So, and then after the 3 nerds that were the big bad, then they went on to the first evil. So there's kind of, you've had like a good differentiation between all the big bads. And they all felt like genuine threats that were all completely different as well. Like you can't just have like, okay, we're just going to fight another evil ancient vampire. Okay, cool, we already did that. We already know exactly what's going to fucking happen. It's not interesting anymore. So I don't know, I feel like they ended it when they needed to.
That's I will. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Look, I am going to go watch it. I am. I've been looking for something to watch it. I am going to go watch it.
It's a great place to completely like immerse yourself into, and like really just kind of like you will find a character in it that you'll be like, oh, I love you. You'll find at least one character that you'll be like, I just want the best for you.
I've kind of been on a bit of a nostalgia kick at the moment, kind of going back and watching stuff from when I was growing up and all that. So this kind of slots in nicely. So I reckon I will go back and just kind of watch it. I'm not promising I'm going to love it, but I'm going to.
Okay, that's okay. You'll love it, or you won't fucking talk to me again.
Yeah, that's it. If so, Raven, you are banned from the podcast and ever having any interaction with me again.
For like wasting your time. You're like, this is nothing that you were saying. This is shit.
I just go up at the next show that we're at and just slap. How dare you?
You got my hopes up.
So in closing, the thing to take away from it: watch Buffy. It's just watch Buffy.
Watch Buffy and tell me how much you like it. That's for every single person watching. Tell me who's your favorite character.
And thank Raven Creed for everything you've done. And with that, that brings us to the end of the show, Comics and Beyond. I've been Cutter. Thank you so much, Raven Creed, for joining us and giving us all your insight into Buffy. Hopefully, I heard a rumbling that you're also quite in the know about X-Men as well.
Yes.
So maybe down the line, hopefully you'll join us again and maybe we'll have a chat about X-Men. But look, thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll be back again very, very soon. Check out everything else on the Nerds Are Us even network, and we'll see you soon. Bye.